Hello, 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 and welcome to Bub's World. I'm your host, Bub. Today we're going to get into some pickups that I've been picking up here lately. Some of these I've shown in various places. Look, I've been floating around all over the interwebs the last several weeks. I've picked up a bunch of stuff, and some of it I've already shown. But regardless of that, I'm going to show it here because I feel like my viewers, my subscribers, all you fine folks that tune in here time and time again to see what I have wasted my money on this time should have the right to see them here where you're comfortable, where you're used to seeing them shown. But if you're a fan of several of the other programs I've been floating around on lately, you've probably seen most of these books. So this might be a skipper for you. You'll just have to find out and see your way through. First off, let's say hello. Las Cruces, good to have you here. Glad you could make it. All right, so let's take a look. First off, we have a book by Adam Hughes. This was one every now and then you get I press it. Yeah. Every now and then you get a book in the mail you don't remember ordering. And that happens a lot, mostly whenever I order like one of these pre-orders or anything that where it's a store exclusive, which I don't do very often. Usually someone has to alert me because you get one store exclusive and they bombard you with emails. I swear, I've ordered once from J. Scott Campbell's store, and I'm pretty sure he sends 5 emails a day, 4 of which just to make sure I got the first one. So it's a bit much, but we're getting through it here in Bub's World. I gotta tell you, it's been a lot. So I don't even know where this one came from. I have the look at the back. I don't even know who Happy Comics. So okay, so here is a Happy Comics 1 in 1000 exclusive of Adam Hughes, Elvira meets H.P. Lovecraft #1. And what's funny is that I kind of remember ordering this one, but not really. I remember trying to decide if I wanted the 1 in 100 metal or not. Excuse me. I kind of wish I had got it. Now that I have this one in hand, I'd like to have had both, but they wanted like $100 and something for that, so I had opted out. So I just went with the standard cover, but it looks absolutely fantastic. I'm a big Elvira fan of her. I actually like the interior of the comics. I like Dave Acosta, the guy who draws her these days, and just good stuff. Hey, CJ, good to see you. So that's what we got going on there. So this is a 1 in 1000. I wish that they had numbered them. Like I like when they tell you how much it is or whatever, but I really prefer if they put the number on the book. If there's only going to be 1,000, mark it as 1,000. That's what I'd prefer. But there you go. Adam Hughes. Now, what's funny about this one is I don't think this is an original image to this comic. I believe this was a commission of some sort that he did quite a ways back. And it's just now getting some light on a comic cover. That happens quite a bit. You got to watch out for those. It always makes me wonder where the original art is, who has it, and if it's floating around. Those of you who do not know, if you've ever purchased, or I should say, if you've ever commissioned any art from an artist, most of the time you don't own that art. You own the actual piece of artwork, but you don't own the rights to that art. So if I commission something for my personal collection from Adam Hughes and he sends it to me, it's beautiful, it's mine and everything, but then he has full rights to that, to reproduce that in prints, as you generally see when you go to a artist booth at a convention. They'll have prints behind them, not Purple Rain prints, but the prints behind him. He'll have that. He might have it in a sketchbook or an art book, or they may use it for a comic cover someday. So I believe that's what happened with this one, is that this was actually a commission that has now been, the rights had been acquired in order to put it onto a comic cover. So there you go. Now going from Adam Hughes to somebody who really wants to be Adam Hughes, we have this Lobos cover. I mean, if you put an here, to me, I would have a hard time telling the difference. I may not consider it to be Adam Hughes's best work or my favorite work of his, but it would definitely confuse me. I can't hardly tell the difference between, I can tell the difference. But at the same, because Lobos tends to use very, very dark lines around all his characters, and it is a different style. I happen to like it. My wife doesn't like the thick lines, but if you go back into Adam Hughes's work, say maybe even 10 years ago, he's using these thick lines as well. So some Adam Hughes work does have that as part of featured as part of it. But I really enjoy this. I really like it. I think it's good, clean fun. And to me, the small differences between these artists sometimes are really just that, a small difference. And if you're a fan of the art and the style of art, then I don't think I'm some sort of traitor to Adam Hughes by purchasing some Lobo covers. Now, if Adam Hughes wants $600 for a commission and Lobos wants $600 for a commission, I think I know where I'm going to spend my money. But if Lobos is asking for $100, hey, I'm probably going to get plenty of stuff for him. But now that he's getting published on major publishers, probably his price is going up. What's going on, Ian? Good to have you. All right, here's some books I picked up at an LCS that I don't really shop at anymore because it is in the town that I used to work. But a couple weeks ago, I was fortunate enough to have off for President's Day, I think it was. So I went ahead and went back to the shop, said hello, gave my usual hello all, and bought some books to show them some love. Every time I go to this shop, I almost never find books that I couldn't find cheaper online. But at the same time, when they say support your LCS, to me, that's my small way of supporting an LCS is that I walk in, I buy a book off the rack, even though I know I can save 50 cents buying it online and wait a few days and they all show up. I go in and I show them a little love. That's kind of the way I look at it. What's going on, Chef? Good to see you, brother. So here is Spider-Woman #1. I forget who did this cover. Leanin' You, maybe? I can't remember. But I'm digging. So that's the other nice thing about buying at the comic shop is I was able to pick this off the rack. I like Spider-Woman. I have a complete run of her first volume. I pick it up every now and then. I look in it, and if the art is good inside, then I buy it. Because the Spider-Woman stories have always been terrible, but the art I like. This one has some fantastic interior art, so I have to assume it's by the Borelli because usually it's the second name. So it's usually writer, artist, and then letter or finishing artist or whatever. So I would assume Borelli's the interior artist on this, but the art is just fantastic. It's exactly the way I like it. It's kind of sexy and sultry, but at the same time, it's just very well proportioned. It's good stuff. Here is issue #2 with the David Nakayama cover. And I tend to pick up if the ratios are the same price or if there's an alternate cover that I think is pretty cool, I'll pick that up. These won't stay in the collection. If it's a #1, I usually jump on for the first story arc, and then I'll read that. And then these go in the sale pile. And next time I do a convention, I have enough books built up, I'll go to a convention and I'll sell them for just $1 a piece. I'm not trying to make money on these. I just don't want them to live in the collection forever. I want to move them along. Other people get a chance to read them for $1 or if they're a Nakayama collector, then collect it. What's going on, Pedro? Pew, pew. Good to see you, brother. Here's another Adam Hughes goodie that I found at the same shop. I just happened to see it. I didn't even know this book. Where are my friends? Where are all my friends at? How is it that Adam Hughes has a Werewolf by Night cover out and I didn't know about it? Not only that, but the interior story was really good. It was great. I really enjoyed it. It's a one-shot. I love one-shots. One-shots, miniseries. Really, if you can't tell a story in 4 issues, your story's too long and you probably don't have an ending for it and just rambling on forever. So I like a nice 4-issue story arc, miniseries, or a one-shot, which is usually double-sized or so. So then you're getting about 2 issues worth of story in there. That's plenty. You guys don't need to be putting War and Peace in comic book form. So here you go. Werewolf by Night. Great little Adam Hughes cover. I am also a fan of Elsa Bloodstone. So to get a Bloodstone cover out of Adam Hughes with some great werewolf boobs or whatever that is, it was fantastic. And a great story. I highly recommend it. I know I'm late to the party, But like I said, I don't know where my friends are at, but they didn't tell me. Where are all you guys? You got Pedro and Comic Chef and Ian. And, where are you guys? Where are you guys at? Didn't tell me this book existed. You know I'm not that hip on the moderns, so you got to help me out. Also a big Cap Wolf fan. Have the original run. I like the fun little stories that Marvel does sometimes, and they tend to be short runs. So here is Cap Wolf and the Howling Commandos #1. Pretty sure that's a Ryan Brown. It may not be, but I know Ryan Brown did a couple of these covers. I really like it. Cap Wolf. I have done a small Cap Wolf cosplay in the past for Halloween, and I'd really like to up that game. If I could ever find a Captain America suit that fit me really well, which would probably be a poorly designed suit, but whatever. If I ever found a really good one, up till now, I just kind of wear a t-shirt, you know. And then the other issue is trying to find a werewolf suit that fits really well, because you don't really, you got to have something going on, you know, in order to get that going. But I usually have the mask, which I love. The mask that I found really looks like this type of werewolf. So anyway, someday, you know, Halloween 2096 or some crap. All right, freaking work. Where do you hey, I'm taking a break from work to do this, to share time with you all. Here is Cap Wolf and the Howling Commandos #2. That is fantastic. Love that. I forget the name of this character here, but he's pretty cool. He's one of the old-timey guys for Captain America, part of his Howling Commandos. They didn't have issue #3, but don't fret. It's on the way. We're getting it in the mail here. It's coming. So here is another one here. This one is definitely Ryan Brown. Cap Wolf and the Howling Commandos #4. Fantastic. I love this stuff, and I'm a big sucker for werewolf books. So, hey, what's going on, Russ? Good to see you, brother. Be seeing you soon. I think we have a stream set up on Friday for the Unusual Suspects. I believe we'll be doing that Friday with me, Tony, Russ, and Simple Simon. I believe it's on Simon's channel. So look forward to that. All right, now we got some old Adam Hughes. Obviously didn't find this at the local shop. But here is Legends of the Stargazers #4. Not his best bottom there, that little goofy ass kid, but that looks great. So digging that. It's a run that I sold off mainly because of this cover, because I hated this cover so much. I sold off the run, and I wish I hadn't, and I wish I got it back. So we have built it back up. I had kept one of the issues, I believe issue #2, and recently I picked up issue #1, 3, and now I have 4, and here is 5. So issue #5, Legends of the Stargazers. A nice little post bondage, maybe. I don't know what you call that. Is she still bound? I can't tell. It's all confusing, but pretty cool stuff. So Legends of the Stargazers #5. So now the only one I'm missing is #6. And another reason that I had abandoned the run or sold the run off last time is because I had never acquired issues 5 or 6. So now that I have both of those, or now that I have 5, it's really the hard hunt for #6. So this will be the kind of book that I'll actually dig in a little bit for. So I have a couple of runs out there that are missing random little issues from here to there. And I have a convention coming up. Lexington Comic-Con and Toy Convention is coming up in just a few weeks. So when I go to that convention, these will be on a short list of books that I pick up when I'm just kind of browsing around. If I'm hanging out with somebody and they're digging in long boxes, which I don't tend to do too much at conventions, in the $1 books or the $5 books, I usually don't fool with that too much at a convention. I look at wall books and I look at the higher price books at conventions and try and get them for reasonable prices. But I don't usually long box dive in conventions because my feet hurt and I get hungry. So, but I always have a few titles that if the booth is well organized and they have a portion, you know, if it's alphabetized. If it's not alphabetized or they don't have labels for artists or anything like that, then I'm out. I'm not digging endlessly through long boxes that are unorganized. That drives me absolutely insane. But anyway, Legends of the Stargazer will be on my hunt list at the con. So with any luck, I pull out a number 6. It could be in an Adam Hughes box, although generally these are just left in the general population. All right. Now we have a nice little pulp here. Startling Stories, Volume 6, number something. Yeah, 1940, whatever, 1941 or so. So, oh, what sequential? If you were in French, would your name be Le Bobet? Maybe. What's going on? All right. So I needed a ruling on this one. I collect Girls in Tubes cover, if you will. So covers that feature girls in tubes. So there's different levels to that. And this is one of these that barely reaches the spectrum, if you will, of girls in tubes. My favorite girls in tubes would be like this Strange Worlds number 4, which has, well, we'll just pull that down. What do you say, folks? You're going to get the full Monty today. So let's take a look. Got that, as they say. All right. So this would be my favorite representation of a girl in a tube. And the reason being that it is definitely a tube, right? Yeah, you could call it a missile or something like that. But it's certainly a tube. There's no doubt about that. It has a cylindrical shape. And then also there will be bands, or in this case, some structure of the tube, if you will, that is conveniently placed across the chest and waist region in order to block any suggestive. So it's suggestive, but it's not explicit, right? Which I do prefer. So that's my favorite type of girls in tubes. So now let me show you this pulp again. And you can see that it's missing those things. So first of all, it's more like a coffin, if you will, or a encasement, right? Like a display case. And clearly they're working on something. This guy's got tentacles and things. So it's some sort of alien stuff going on here. But it is missing the overall bands or whatever that's needed. So it's more like girls in glass boxes than girls in tubes. But the saving grace on this one was I do collect kind of octopus covers. So this alien with the tentacles has got my attention. Then you got a lady in a red dress. You got Red Dress Distress. And then it's a very sciencey cover, obviously. And unlike the Strange Worlds 4, where it's a girl and a guy, this one has multiple girls in tubes or cases. At that point, it's enough of a pass. We went ahead and picked it up and consider ourselves lucky to have it. Please elaborate on your tube fetish. Not a fetish. I just like to see it drawn. I think it's clever. I think it's very sci-fi-y to me. So that's what I do. Thought you like bondage covers. I do like bondage covers, but there is not all bondage covers. Like there has to be some artistic value to there, because people send me images all the time, especially on Instagram, is like, hey, have you seen this book? Hey, have you seen this book? And it's just not very artistic. It's just somebody bound up, and that doesn't usually do it for me. I like sci-fi bondage mostly, or horror bondage. And and I really like the ones, my favorites are the ones where the hero is already present and is about to save him. I think that's really cool too. So new territory, I mainly know comics from the past 50 years or so. Yeah, so this is really old stuff. I mean, this stuff is getting pretty old. What's up, KB? Good to have you. All right, Naman's here as well. Good to see everybody. So that's what we got going on here. So that's it. That's all I had for today. Oh, wait, one more thing. I'll end with this. I got this in the mail from Amazon of all places. So I got two more things. So this was Need by our good buddy Gary B, the casual comic collector or whatever he goes by. But Gary B, Keepers of the Cash. He's got created by Gary Baker. A couple things I'll say about it. One is it's a book. It's not a comic. So for those of you, it's a novella, whatever, but it's not a comic. So for those of you who only collect comics, this may not be for you. Let's see. Yeah. I've got Bubble Space Helmet stuff too. It's not what we call it fetish, but all right. So, it's interesting. It's a good book. It's basically just, smut. So good smut there from Gary B. Very well written. I think the production of the book itself could have been better. It's a little off the printing is a little off. There's some oddities like down here where it says like cover A RT. So I think that's supposed to be cover art, but instead it's like cover A, cover B, but then they didn't realize that it was supposed to be one word art. Also, there's no page numbers, which I'm not a fan of that. I usually like a little page number at the bottom. So because I don't usually do bookmarks. I just try and remember what page I was on, right? I have a little number system in my head. So other than those two things, which have nothing to do with the quality of the material itself, it's a good book. And I wanted to support him. I know that, a lot of people are giving these away and buying them and giving them away and stuff. But I just wanted to support Gary with my own money, if you will, and buy it directly from the place that hopefully will raise some awareness and bring some more work his way, some more money his way, this away. So there you go. Gary B, good stuff. Appreciate you, brother. And last and certainly not least, because probably the most expensive thing I picked up is this 5-color comics #1, Bruce Timm, amazing art. There's the bondage everybody was asking for. And Nazi cover. Look at that pure evil there. Hopefully a hero comes in and saves quickly. But, you don't think of jungle. I mean, you don't think of Nazis and jungle girls being something you'd see together. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah, just dog ear them. So you don't think of that very often, but here they are together and doing a good job. So there you go. 5-color comics. That's what that, and this is like a mag size. So good stuff there. I didn't know that I'd be picking this one up, but everything started coming together. It's been on my want list for a few years. I couldn't find an affordable copy for the price I wanted to pay. And then, which was about $100. And then a funny thing happened. My buddy DS Comics sent me a private message saying he had just bought one. And I was like, man, I've been after that book for years. He's like, I'm surprised you don't have it. I'm like, yeah, nobody wants to come offer for $100. He's like, yeah, but $250 is not bad. I'm like, well, let me see if I can find it for $100. Then I found it online. There was a copy. I was bidding on it and I almost got it. I was almost, it's just like a day away. And then then a guy I know on Instagram showed the same book. I'm like, what is going on? So within an hour, I saw this book 3 times. And I said, it's meant for me to have this book. So I didn't even holler. I just put a comment like, hey, nice book, but I bought from this guy before. So I put a holler at him and he sent me a private message and said, hey, if you want it, it's, me, it's for sale. Cause most of the books he shows are for sale. Even if he doesn't expressly say it, later on, there'll be a sale post. So I said, all right, how much? He said 110 shipped. I said, dadgummit, that was my price. Because if I had bought this on eBay for $100, I'd have had to pay tax and shipping and everything else, right? So I said, all right, I'll take it. 110 shipped. And so he sent it. And then I'm sweating for like 24 hours, right? I'm sweating out of every pore because I don't want to win the other book. Because then I have 2 copies, which whatever. I've been collecting a lot of doubles lately. So I thought maybe 2 copies wouldn't be too bad, but wouldn't you know it? The other book sold for over $150 and this one was in better condition. So it all worked out in the end for old Bubsy. That's it. That's my haul. I hope you all enjoyed that. Thank you to everybody. Is that an art book? No, it's a comic. It's an anthology. So inside is, I think, 3 stories, if I'm not mistaken. Done by different artists, and it's a total comic, and the interior art is fantastic. This thing is freaking awesome. So I highly recommend it. Yeah, it's a great book. 2 copies in economy. That's about right. And I didn't want to. I swear I didn't want to buy a second. Like I said, I got a con coming up. I got stuff going on. I didn't want to buy 2 copies, but if I ended up with 2, I was going to be okay with it because it's such a cool book. But in the end, I got the better condition book for less money and the price I wanted to pay. And when stuff like that happens, you just feel good about they say the comic karma you're throwing out there. I don't know if I believe all that, but you just feel good about the way things are going when stuff works out just the way you need it. So, all right, that's all I got for you today. Happy lunchtime, everybody. Appreciate everybody. Thanks for showing up. We don't care when you get here, as long as you get here. And for everybody watching a replay, I hope you enjoyed as well. Leave a comment or whatever and let me know that you stopped by. That way I'm not all confused later. So that's it. We'll catch you next time in Bub's World. And remember, let's start with that Elvira. Let's show the Elvira. Remember to read a comic and don't apologize for the glare. Bye-bye.